Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the ELKSHAPE podcast, where we hang out with people that are badass, like Tyler from Billings, Montana.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the name of your podcast?
Nock Performance Podcast.
And when was it established?
It was established in October of 21.
Right on.
Yep.
Before that, you were in law enforcement.
Yep.
You started out East Coast somewhere. Where? Nashville, you said?
Yeah, so I did 3 years in Nashville, then we moved to Montana, and then I did 2 years in Billings.
When you say we, who does that involve?
My wife.
How long you been married?
3 years.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
So when you guys moved to Montana, were you married?
We were not.
So that's a pretty, like, she was all, like, whose idea was it to move?
Dude, it was totally mine. Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you want to move to Montana?
I told this to everybody to hunt elk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got the right podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
I figured as much.
Okay.
Mhm.
And did she put up a fight, or was was it like I mean, seriously, was it ultimatum like, I'm moving to Montana? If you want to stay together, you gotta come with me.
Mm-mm. No, I would never make her do that.
Okay.
It was a COVID thing. So we're from the Midwest. I'm from Michigan. My wife's from Ohio. We met in Nashville on a plane. Okay. Yeah. Sat next to her. So like everybody from the Midwest, for vacations, we go to Florida. Well, they got canned during COVID.
Right.
Nothing was open, so we canned it. So we waited 4 or 5 months. She's like, where do you want to go? Let's go to Montana. She goes, what's there? I don't know. I heard it's pretty there. Secretly knowing why we're going. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had an agenda.
I had an agenda, and
You
she knows
slide
that.
out.
Yeah, she knows that. Mm-hmm.
All right. So you meet this gal on an airplane.
Yeah.
Not a very long plane ride, or?
That would have been from Nashville to Ohio. I was going to a bachelor party. I was in the police academy at the time, bald head, no mustache. Yeah. And she was going for her sister's graduation.
Okay.
Only seat on the plane, last one on. Sat next to her.
Oh, so it's like one of those flights where you sit wherever? It wasn't assigned sit.
No, it was assigned, but I was the last one on. I was trying to study for a law exam at the time.
Yeah.
And I knew I had a kind of a long weekend ahead of me, so I was kind of cramming. And yeah, I was the last one on. Not trying to talk to anybody.
Yeah. Right.
Hood up, hat low, tons of textbooks. And
So who talked to who first?
oh, she talked to me.
What'd she say?
She said, not to interrupt you, but what are you looking at?
Okay.
And I got all these note cards and stuff on the tray table or whatever. And I looked down, and keep in mind, I'm studying the law. I look down, rape of a child, this, that, and the third. I'm like, oh no, like this is a bad look. And
Dang, yeah.
trying to be funny, and I don't think it came off very funny. I said, trying to see what I can get away with. And she looks at me. She goes, what? I was like, no, I'm kidding. Like, I'm in the police department. I'm in the police department, et cetera, et cetera. She goes, well, I'm going to quiz you. I said, okay. So, I give her all the note cards that I already knew and, looked semi-smart.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, long story short, the girl next to her wanted my phone number so we could all hang out. And Morgan didn't want anything to do with that. And she snagged it from her. And then, yeah, we had the same flight back to Nashville 3 days later.
You did?
Yeah. So we sat next to each other.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Okay, so you guys moved to Montana. How did it go during your first couple years as a Leo in Nashville, man? Like, were you not feeling it, or it wasn't that circumstance at all? Like, you could be a cop anywhere you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to be a cop in Montana?
Yeah. Well, I took a job in Montana, but I just needed to get out there.
Okay.
Yeah. I just needed to get out there, and I got an opportunity and kind of made that work. But it's like two different worlds. Like, policing in Nashville is completely different than policing in Montana.
How so?
When you're the only white dude in the projects in Nashville, you learn pretty quickly how to do the job.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just a lot busier. If it's 70 and sunny in Nashville in the summer, somebody's going to get shot, and you're going to work. You're going to work a lot.
So Montana's a little different vibe.
A lot different of a vibe, a little bit slower pace.
Okay.
You can't take anybody to jail in the town that I was working in.
Really?
Yeah, they're all full. So that was kind of, I like to do my job when I'm there. And if I have to just write citations and I can't actually physically take you to jail, it wasn't really making much sense to me. Yeah.
That's incredible. So when you, where were you at in your journey where you're like, I don't want to do this? When did you figure out, like, I don't want to be a cop anymore?
It's funny. So when I took the job and like, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I went to college and I was like, I'm going to study business.
Business.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, for what? I don't know. My dad's a business owner, but
is he?
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, well, I'll just be a cop.
Okay.
And people ask me why, and you can give the cliche answer of, oh, I want to help people, this, that, and the third, which is somewhat true. But I thought that I would be good at it. And depending on who you talk to, they might say I was. I think that I was pretty good. But I always knew I wasn't going to retire doing it. A lot of politics. I don't like the fact that I can't make my own schedule, really. The 9 to 5 really wasn't something that I wanted.
What was your schedule in Montana?
410s.
Okay.
Yeah, which was great because,
Day shift?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was cake. I mean, really. You show up, do your job, you go home. But there's just, I don't know. I don't want to get old and not try something. And I just always knew that I wasn't going to retire doing that. Mm-hmm. But I was getting close, right? You get closer to 10 years, then you can start getting vested, and then you're kind of screwed. A lot of guys have
lot of
done
momentum
that.
as far as sticking around happens after 10.
Correct.
Okay.
You're kind of trapped.
Did you how'd you know you wanted to do a podcast?
That was a thing that I started with a buddy at the time, just as an excuse to talk hunting.
Oh, that's cool.
And long or the short, didn't quite work out with him, 20 episodes in or whatever. And I was like, I really like doing this.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing it.
Cool.
And I think the first person I ever interviewed was actually Kobe Owens. We were just talking about him.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine.
Dude gets after it.
And he does. And ended up rebranding the whole thing. And then as time has progressed over the years, it's not just hunting. It's a lot of everything. I'll talk to business owners. I'll talk to everybody about anything. I do like the hunting aspect of it, but it's more than that. And it's something that I enjoy. And
well, when did you look at it as an option? Or, I'm assuming you were doing 410s, but still doing the podcast on the side. What was that tipping point where you're like, you have to kind of you don't have to, but you decided to make a decision and go all in? I like those tipping points. How did that work out?
Yeah. Pretty crazy story. So there was a lot of political things going on within my job, and you see it with a lot of guys that get out. They always talk about maybe their department not so having their back if something goes wrong.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of in the position. I was in that position. I wasn't really feeling like I was being supported and stuff. And hey, what happens if I do have to go the extra mile and really seriously fight somebody, or God forbid, shoot somebody? Then what happened?
Yeah.
And I just couldn't live with that. And we had a conversation, my wife and I, the night before I decided that we were done. My first call the next day, there's a SWAT call out. One of our guys ended up getting shot trying to go into this house. And I knocked on that door 2 hours beforehand. And when they busted in that door, a lady was sitting there with a shotgun. Boom. Ooh. Yeah. So we can get, I don't want to know how much detail you want to get into it.
All the details? It's
all
a podcast, man.
All the details.
First off, shotgun, that's a bad deal.
It's a bad deal.
It's a bad deal.
When you got plates on, which we all do, there's about a 4-inch gap from pretty much your waistline to your plates. Yeah. And that's where it hit.
Oh yeah.
And so I was the cop that gave him a police escort. He was in the ambulance. And I'm clipping, 120 down Main Street.
Yep.
And we get to the hospital, and they take him upstairs because they're about to do surgery on him. And for whatever reason, they're like, come on, you're coming with us. You need to suit up. So I'm, Grey's Anatomy style, the mask, the whole kit, the smock, looks like I'm going into surgery. And, I had to get the bullets for evidence. So our boy's on the table as they're pulling his guts out, throwing his intestines on the table, fishing for fragments, and they're putting them in a cup, just like on TV.
Yep.
And I'm standing there, and I'm like, "That."
Do you have a stomach for that?
Yeah, I've seen some stuff.
Okay.
But still, I knocked on that door 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
That could have been me.
Yes.
And I got home. That was a long day, obviously. I got home, and keep in mind, my wife and I just had this conversation the night before, Dan.
Nuts.
And the first call that I go on the next day is that. It's if that's not a sign from God,
that's a sign
that I need to dip, I don't know what is.
And then, what year is this, man?
This is 22.
There was, my memory sucks, but there was a vibe, because one of my best buddies is a sergeant here in town. What up, Jason? And man, it just sucked to be a cop for a while. There was all this hate towards cops, not from people like me,
of course,
but the kind of people from. And I felt like there was a mass exodus where a lot of guys were like, fuck this, I'm out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
A lot of guys, and a lot of good guys too.
Good one.
A lot of good ones. Like the bad apple syndrome, it's real, but that's like anything, man.
Sure.
It's same thing with hunting, right? You get a guy that pulls off the side of the road, smokes one, poaches it. Like now we're all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Can I curse on here a little bit or no?
Yeah, I'm not afraid.
Okay, good. But it's the same thing with policing, right?
Yeah.
It's ebbs and flows. Like sometimes we're the best. Other times we're not.
Yeah.
One dude does something bad that gets caught on film, which everything is on film.
Everything.
Everything is on film. And now it's a shitstorm for everybody. So a lot of good guys are leaving because they don't feel that support. What if they have to go the extra mile like we touched on?
So 2 questions. How quick did it take you to quit after that day? And did your bro make it?
He made it. Yep, he did fine. Recovery, I'm pretty sure he still works there.
Okay.
It wasn't a friend of mine, but we're on the same team.
Yeah, you're on the same team.
We're on the same team. And I told my wife right then, I was like, that's it. Like you can't just have that conversation, have this happen, and me ignore that.
Right.
Because we were kind of back and forth for about a year. Like, I don't really like where things are going. What am I going to do? I got this podcast. Maybe I could start coaching. I've been doing this fitness thing my whole life.
Yeah.
I could do this. And then that happened. So I called in sick the next 2-3 days.
Okay.
As you should.
Clearly.
Take that. I mean, don't tell Cam that, but I did that. Because nobody called to check on me. Nobody knew what was going on.
That sucks.
You know, like they don't know that I'm sitting in the hospital room with this dude as they're pouring his stuff out on the table.
Right.
But I already knew what I was going to do. So I typed up a nice little letter. I walked in 4 or 5 days later, handed it to whoever I handed it to. 2 weeks. They said, no, you're good. Go park your car. You're good. And that was it.
Cool.
That was it.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
No, that's great. So then what? I mean, how you kind of get home and you're like, well, damn,
Mm-hmm.
I just freed up 40 hours of the week.
Mm-hmm.
What do I like doing?
Mhm.
Let's pour some gas on this podcast. Let's pour some gas on this fitness.
Yep. So I just went all in, man. Like people say, like, if you're going to do it, just jump. Like, don't half-ass it. I don't half-ass anything. And again, I touched on it at the beginning. I don't want to get old and be like, dude, should have tried it. If you fail, who cares? Like, but you tried it.
Yeah.
You're going to learn something along the way, regardless.
I love that.
So that's what I did. And I'd be lying to you if I told you at the beginning that I wasn't like picking up side gigs, doing security stuff, traveling out to Kalispell. Like, dude, I have bills to pay.
We all do.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all do. My wife does very good. Helped out a ton at the beginning. Like carried us point blank period.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes. And I'm not afraid to admit that. Like everybody's got stories that are similar, or maybe they're not, but yeah, my wife carried us big time for a good while. But she believed in me. And that was the only thing that held me back from quitting a year before that.
Right.
It's like, yo, if you support this, I'm out. And then finally after that, she did. But I was working side gigs and stuff. And then long story short, I, got into figuring out how I was going to coach these guys and what I was going to offer, so on and so forth. And when you get your first client, now it starts to make sense. Hey, maybe I can do this, right? Signed a guy for 3 months. Look at, like, holy crap, I made X amount of dollars. I think I can do this.
Yeah.
And then you get another one, and then it just compounds, and then,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know how it goes. Everything you described makes a lot of sense to me, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's a journey.
Yep.
There are days where you question everything, and you're like, what am I even doing? It does help to have a spouse that at least is in your camp. I don't think it would be possible, or it wouldn't really work if they weren't rooting for you.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's a nurse, a registered nurse, and was doing that forever. And I was kind of like, wow, she's got a good job. I just sold the gym. I guess I can try ELKSHAPE for a year. Actually, I told her 2 years is what because remember, like every business takes 2 years to break even or something.
Mm-hmm.
I read one time. So that's what I told her. And so she agreed to 2 years. And in 2 years, she quit her job. She's not a nurse anymore. Well, she still have her credentials. She's not a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been a nurse for a couple years now. I can't even imagine life with her being a nurse. Like it doesn't even make sense to me.
Yep.
She's the glue to our family. She does so much taking care of all the things. She works in the business as well, helping me with all the stuff that I'm not good at and don't want to do, i.e. accounting, billing, emails, stuff like that. And she takes care of her kids and stuff. And I don't even know how she has time to do everything she does. I cannot believe I know how that feels when you get that first client and it starts to build, or you get that first partnership, or somebody wants to sponsor your podcast or something, and you're like, I guess I'm doing it. It's pretty humbling. But at a certain point, you probably have talked to your wife about like where to pour gas, meaning you love hunting, you love fitness, you love podcasting, all this other stuff you got going on. How do you organize and decipher where to put your energy the most? You know, which fires burn the hottest for you, I guess.
Coaching by far.
Okay.
Yeah. The coaching is just, I asked my wife the other day, I said, am I growing too quick? She goes, no, you just have to have your things in place.
Your systems.
Yeah. You have to have your systems in place. So that's really where we've been focused on.
Okay.
And I'm getting to the point where I'm hiring people, right? Like I need help.
Good.
Like why do this amount and make this amount when you could make this amount and have this amount?
Yeah.
Like I'm not the guy that's like comfortable. I like to, like, if I'm in, I'm in. Like if we're doing it,
Okay.
we're doing it.
So what's that look like? Nockperformance.com?
Yep. Nockperformance.com.
I have a fitness business on the side as well. And so I know how hard it is to, you know, online training. It's not the same as in person.
Not even close.
And it never will be.
Ever.
But it's still, in this day and age, it's a lot more doable than it was 20 years ago.
Yep.
So what kind of services do you provide? What kind of clients do you train? What kind of programs are you, like, what's your wheelhouse stuff?
I love training hunters, man.
Okay.
That's my gig.
Okay.
That's like our new tournament. We were all athletes at one point in time, right? Everybody played sports at one point in time, maybe at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, now, like, we're not playing. We're not going to the ball tournament. We don't have the football game on Friday nights. A lot of the guys that I coach, almost all of them, train to hunt. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like you, right? You've really blown that up. Guys like you and Cam, you guys have really blown that up, where you can't just show up. You can, but I don't like my chances that much if I can't perform. So those are the guys that I coach, guys that have big sheep hunts, big guys that have a nice elk tag, guys that just want to go out in the mountains and not worry about throwing down 10 miles and being absolutely broke off the next day.
Yeah. So do you, how often do you talk to these guys on the phone or video conference or email? Like, how do you communicate with them? How do you hold them accountable? How do you answer their questions? Like, how do you work with them?
We do daily, or not daily, we do weekly check-ins on Sundays, where that's a long form conversation.
Oh,
where it's a long form conversation. So the front half of it is basically like, if you did great, dude, I'm going to praise you because I'm big on that.
Cool.
But if you sucked,
you're going to hear about it.
You're going to hear about it. And you'll also hear about that midweek too. And then the back half, which I really like of that call, once I get you squared away and we come up with a game plan, maybe if you didn't do so great, how we can improve for the next week. The back half of that call is my favorite because I do enjoy helping people. I tell all my guys when we get on the call for the first time, the relationship always starts off as working, but it always turns into a friendship.
That's cool.
I'm friends with all these dudes that I've ever coached and the guys that I currently coach, Granda being an example, right? The banter between us is awesome.
Okay.
But he also knows that if he's slacking, I'm going to call him.
How long have you been working with Adam?
Shoot, close to a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Did he approach you?
Yeah. Out of the blue.
Out of the blue.
Yeah. Which are my favorite ones, right?
That's really cool.
They're my favorite ones because guys know that they need to improve.
Thick dude.
Thick boy.
That's a thick boy.
Thick boy.
He's like a Viking.
A grizzly bear Viking.
I feel like if he looked at a barbell, just looked at one, he got stronger.
Yeah. But he's one of those guys, Dan, at the same time, where he really doesn't need me. He knows how to go into the gym and lift weights and like do that. He needs me to fire him up.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. A lot of these guys aren't 300 plus pounds. They're really good athletes. They're in great shape. But they're business owners. They don't have time. They like the fact that they can open up their phone. Everything's right there.
Yeah.
They press start, they press end, and they go home.
That's
or they go to work. But they also know if they're not giving it their all, they're going to hear about that. They're going to feel that.
Yeah.
That's like my bread and butter, man, because that's how I was coached. That's how I was raised.
Yeah.
That resonates with me, and it resonates for a lot of guys. All of them are blue collar. All of them were men, dude. Like, men have a certain way of talking to each other at times.
So you mainly have male athletes?
All male.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever trained a gal?
It's funny. I know that I could, but like my wife and I talk about it. I don't really need to be looking at women in bikinis first off, because I do get the pitcher thing.
Oh shit, yeah, I didn't think about that.
You
Yeah,
know
that's fair.
Right?
That's fair, honestly.
And then just being completely transparent with it, dude, I wouldn't even know how to train a girl. Like, y'all go hit legs. Like, I don't know, dude. And then like you have the hormonal thing.
Yeah.
Where like women base
funny conversation.
Women base training off of their cycle and stuff. Like,
yeah,
at least women that are really in tune with themselves.
No, they do.
So I wouldn't even know what to do.
Man. This is old Dan talking now. When I used to just want to train professional athletes, did that as far as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Then I backed down to, okay, I will train legit collegiate athletes and a handful of high school athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Then I stepped it down to, I'll train the go-getters of high school and junior high. And then I had to step down, like, okay, I'm going to train general population because I got to pay bills.
Yep.
And so obviously I have a pretty long stint with CrossFit, owning that gym. And man, I've been into CrossFit, but it's not what I primarily do now, but I enjoy it. And it did not take me long to figure out that I love training women, specifically these soccer mom, some stay-at-home moms.
They're savages, dude.
They're savages.
They go.
And they're more competitive than men, and they will cut your throat for 5 seconds or 5 points, but they don't talk shit to each other like us guys do. Like, we'll go work out today, we might make some jokes, but we'll probably not that competitive. Women will, like, especially as they get to know each other and their peers, I mean, women will die for points. Women are more competitive than men. They just don't vocalize it. So I loved training some of these women. Like, it was incredible. And they were just, like you said, savages. But I like that you're training these dudes. Do you think, like, when do you get a day off for yourself? Because it seems like you give these guys access to you.
A lot
and
of
my struggle
access.
would be, just knowing my personality, and it's probably some of yours, is I would have a tough time turning it off. Like, like to draw a boundary or a line in the sand. Have you been able to do that?
I'm glad you asked me that question, because it's something I'm like actively working on.
Okay.
I've made myself a little bit too available.
Yep.
And this is great because all the guys are going to listen to this, and they know that because we've already had this conversation on the phone literally 2 weeks ago.
Good.
Yo, hit me between 8 and 5. After 5, it's not an emergency, dude. Like, y'all are grown adults. If you don't know what it is, YouTube it. There's a video that explains the lift anyways. I got to be a husband, dude.
Yeah.
I'm about to be a dad in May.
May?
So, okay. Correct. So, and my wife called me on it a couple of weeks before that. 9:30, I'm texting a client in bed. She's like, Tyler, are you here? You worked all day. So a 10, 12-hour day can turn into a 16-hour day if I don't put my phone on airplane mode and throw it on the counter when I get home.
That's fair.
So it's something that I'm really trying to work through, and I'm getting better at it. But I just care, dude. Like, I call, like, my youngest dude is 19. My oldest dude is 47. But I call them all my kids. They're all my kids. Like, the fact that they want to invest their hard-earned money with me. Working with me is not cheap. But I don't like cheap shit. I don't know about you. I take that really seriously. Really, really seriously.
That's cool.
That these guys come to me with their goals and count on me. I'm going to give you the sauce. You just got to do the work.
Yeah.
That's it. When you dumb it down like that, it's really not that difficult.
No. That's good. Well, I'm glad you're working on that, because that's a fear of mine. Just been in the fitness industry since I was probably 18, been a personal trainer, all that stuff. And I know that, and it's not the client's fault. They're just trying to get results. The last thing they're thinking at 5:30 p.m. is, oh shit, I wonder if Tyler's like having supper right now with his family. They're just like, oh man, hey, how do I do this one movement again? Or how much the calories am I supposed to have for this encounter? Whatever. So no, that's good. Establishing that in the beginning is good. Working for yourself is cool, but how do you, and this is basically the same question, like, how do you clock out? Like, I mean, you're doing calls on Sunday night. You said you're turning your phone on airplane mode at 5:30 in the evening. Trying to, right? Like, that's tough. Do you take a lunch break every day? Do you do like I don't have a normal, I've never taken a lunch break. I just eat while I'm working. Like, how do you structure, like, take us through an average day of Tyler? And
so I'll just give you a day in the life really quick. Up between 4:30 and 5, cold tub within minutes of waking up. And that's kind of
how long?
3 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's a blue collar Montana cold tub where you just leave it outside,
Shitty.
break the ice, and just
it's gonna hurt.
Just wear it.
Yep.
Yeah, just wear it. And then little recovery after that. I warm up, throw a flannel on, go upstairs in the den, and we have like a little red light machine, which is sweet.
Oh,
So I throw that on my back or sit in front of that while I stretch, and then read the Bible a little bit.
ooh, little spiritual food.
Yep. And then after that, I'm drinking my coffee, and then I'll hit the gym. So I'm usually at the gym by about 6.
Okay.
Public gym near where I live. And then I'll do my thing for an hour. I'm not a 90-minute, 2-hour guy. I'm in and out in an hour.
Perfect.
That's how I roll. And then, come home. My wife usually will either make me something to eat, or I'll just have her bring it in, which is fantastic. And then I won't eat until noon. And I'll take care of any calls that I might have. Maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's programming workouts, etc. But I'll eat around noon, and that is kind of my break. I'm not on Instagram. I'll throw a YouTube video up, something
cool
that I like,
yeah,
that I'm interested in, like 30 minutes or so. And then I'll try to grind it until 5. Sometimes it's 6 or 7. But once 5 comes around, then I get home and try to dial it down.
So where's your work at?
Downtown. I rent out an office space.
Had you always done that from the beginning? When
no.
Did you,
I used to have a full-blown studio like this in my house.
Yeah.
And then we converted it to an Airbnb downstairs. So
that's smart.
It's smart. Yeah. I can't. This little spot that I have downtown, dude, like I owe like
feel
half.
Pretty productive.
I owe like half my success to it.
Yeah.
It is just the ultimate vibe for me.
Yep.
Like it's just productivity. I key in 24/7 access. It's awesome. Coffee, fridge, everything.
Isn't
I
that
need.
Interesting? Like you have a place. Like yesterday, I had one of the most productive days I've ever had. It was the first day of 2025, and I literally my wife's like, "What'd you do today?" And I couldn't stop talking. I was like,
"Yeah."
And then when I was done, I was like, "I can't believe that's the most productive day I've ever had. This place is working out great."
You were here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a vibe in here, dude. It's nice.
Yeah. Well, honestly, man, I had a lot of help.
Yeah.
I had a lot of help. My father and my wife literally together built this while I still worked at our old place.
Yeah.
And got this set up. So,
yeah, I like it.
No, it's cool to have a designated place. For me, my commute's 25 minutes. Not terrible, but it's just that perfect amount where, man, it used to be 10 feet. And I'm guilty of like after dinner going back up and editing.
Yeah, bro. Yep.
Or doing a podcast, agreeing. Like now I will not agree to any podcast after 5 o'clock. And there's a lot of dudes I feel bad. Like they hit me up and they're like, it's their side hustle, but they got to go do their normal job. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm not going to podcast with you at 8 o'clock at night.
It's just far enough where, like on your drive, if you're drinking your coffee, whatever, you're like, okay, we're about to work today.
Yeah.
You can't just slide out here anymore. That's what was so great about mine, dude. My situation is that I'd be downstairs all the time.
That's not
Be
good.
9 o'clock, whatever. Oh, I do a late time podcast. No. Hit me during business
How long
hours.
have you had your little spot?
I don't even think it's been a year, Dan.
Dude, that's so cool.
To be honest with you. And I like
Is that your idea?
It was my wife's.
Dude, women, that's so cool.
Dude, women are awesome.
Yeah.
Like
she was
they're
on to
awesome.
something.
She's so smart. I don't know what she's doing with me, but I love you, Morgan.
Oh, that's cool. And so is it just you?
No, there's tons of people around there, but I got they have their own podcast studio down there, which is sick.
Right.
And I'm running that thing more than anybody.
Really?
I bring my, they have all their own equipment, but I just bring my stuff because I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
So I set my stuff up, set my sign up. It's sick, dude.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
Right there in Billings.
Right downtown. Yeah, you got to hop over homeless people on the way there, but it's a good thing.
Do you ever run into any other people in the same industry as you, like as far as in the hunting space in that area? I know Bozeman's kind of got a lot of media guys. Like, where's Colby live?
Colby's in Wyoming now. He works for Weatherby.
Oh, he took that job.
Yeah, he's doing it, man.
Okay, so because he was freelance before that. Where in Wyoming is he?
Where's
Cheyenne?
Sheridan.
Yep.
Sheridan.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool because a lot of times when they'll dip out on their hunts, they fly out of Billings.
Yeah.
And I can watch airplanes take off from my house, so he'll just come stay at night.
Well, good for him, man. I remember meeting him at TAC, and good dude. And so you have a contractors that you hire now to help film, photograph. Like, was that Brady I met?
Yep.
Like, does he work for you a little bit here and there? Or?
He is now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's your vision for him?
Stuff like this. I want to travel more. Like, I understand like the platform you've built here and the fact that you wanted to have me on. Like, I take that seriously as well. Like, this is really cool. You're doing like what a lot of people kind of in our space are looking to do. So if I can learn from somebody that has more knowledge and experience, I'm gonna just soak it in.
Yeah.
But you know, of course, like with all the content and stuff, you want to document it too.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna interrupt the pod real quick to let you know about one of our favorite partners, Montana Knife Company out of Frenchtown, Montana. I've been to their factory. I've been to their facility. I've met their team members, and they're awesome. Josh Smith was introduced to me a while back. This is a guy who's been a master bladesmith since he was little, but also he was a blue-collar lineman who eventually got the gumption to go all in on himself. Him and Brandon started Montana Knife Company. They're kicking butt. They've been on my radar for a while, and I've been partnered for over a year now with Montana Knife. If you're in the market for a knife that you can pass down generation to generation, something that's fixed and is going to stay sharp and you can break down your elk, check out the Stone Goat, the Mini Goat, the Blackfoot. They have a variety of knives. They have drops that sell out every time. So head over to their social or their website or their YouTube. Check them out. Follow along to be notified when their next drop is. We will even do more down the road, exclusive ELKSHAPE drops like we did this year. That thing sold out. Montana Knife, great company, great people, amazing knife that will last you a lifetime. Hey guys, we're going to interrupt this podcast to let you know that we are brought to you by Matthews Archery. These guys are located up there in Sparta, Wisconsin. I've had the great honor to visit their headquarters twice and have 2 different factory tours. This is a world-class facility. More importantly, world-class people. And we are honored to be partnered with Matthews since 2019. If you get a chance, head over to a local dealer. Try the latest and greatest. We just wanted to thank Matthews for helping us bring you awesome content. Hey guys, we interrupt this pod to tell you about one of our awesome partners, Marsupial Gear out of Arizona. Jim Graham's a good friend of mine. He's been making arguably the best chest pack on the market. It is what I run. So no, the magnets on the chest rig do not interfere with phones, compasses, things like that. But what they do is keep debris and brush out of your binoculars and out of your lens, your objectives, everything like that. Keeps it clean, it's quiet, it's seamless. You can also run the rangefinder pouch as well as other accessories for your handgun and tools. It's a great seamless system, and they have multiple offerings so that you can pick the right color or camo breakup to suit your hunt. Check them out. Head over to their website to learn more. Back to the pod.
So I called Brady, and he's starting to get more into creating his own brand, do things like this. Mm-hmm. So it just worked out perfect.
That's cool.
But I want to get better at documenting. You know, you can only do so much, right? My wife used to be a professional photographer, so she'll get content of me. But
really,
yeah, but it's like, you know, I have no problem paying somebody to support what they got going on, because the more that I feed into other people, man, the more it just comes around for me. I'm a big karma guy, and it's hard to explain. But
do you ever worry about, like, I'm interested in how to ask this. I'm trying to figure out how to ask this. Okay, so in the space of hunting,
mm-hmm.
it seems it could potentially be saturated. This is not my point of view, by the way, but I'm just saying, okay, so you got Nock Performance, one-on-one training with guys that turning hunters into athletes. You got, I don't know if it's still in business. I started it with a buddy called Train to Hunt in 2010.
I've heard of it.
I don't even know if it's still around.
Me neither.
You have the guys out of Bozeman.
Mountain
Tough.
Yep.
You have Mountain Physio. You
mm-hmm.
have, I mean, I could keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You have ELKSHAPE training.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever, like, get competitive and you're like, F these guys, or like, no, not worried about? You think there's enough guys interested in training for their hunts that you'll always have enough guys to work with?
Yeah, I do. Because I'm not Mountain Tough. I'm not ELKSHAPE training. My stuff is different from all y'all's. And I think that your guys' stuff is great. Perfect. There's a time and a place for what it is that you do. There's a time and a place for what it is that Mountain Tough does. But tell me if I'm wrong, but when you do like a Mountain Tough or an ELKSHAPE training, they don't have any one-on-one access to you, or do they?
But hell no. I didn't do one-on-ones.
My point.
I have no time for that.
That's where we're different. You know what I mean? So I've kind of found my own little space within everybody else. I want you to crush. You're crushing it. I don't know the dudes at Mountain Tough, but I want them to just hammer it home.
That's kind of, I met them.
Yeah, I heard they're sweet.
When I say them, I met one of them, and he was a guy I didn't ever see on camera, but he was their marketing guy. He was really nice. He knew all sorts of stuff, and I just told him, hey man, like, I just want you to know that I don't wake up and ever think about Mountain Tough as my competitor. because there's so many people that are deconditioned, overweight, deeply insecure, deeply unsatisfied, and potentially depressed about the way their life and the way they're leading it. There is so much that we should all stick together. And who cares which path they take as long as they get on one.
There's enough cake for everybody, dude. I got on a call with a guy 2-3 days ago, just, feeling them out. Because as much as they choose to work with me, I choose to work with them.
That's important.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. I've gotten off phone calls in 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
You're not a good fit. And that's fine.
That's only fair to everybody.
Go over here. It's only fair. And I'm asking this guy a bunch of questions, and he's telling me everything that he's doing. I'm like, son of a bitch, this dude's more squared away than me.
Yeah.
I told him on the phone, I'm like, brother, you don't need me. You are absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
I was like, look forward to meeting you at the expo, this, that, and the third, but we need more guys like you, dude. Like, this is amazing.
Wow.
I wish everybody was as squared away as you.
Wow.
Shit, I'll hit him up for advice.
Really?
So it's one of those things
Shout out.
To answer your question in a, we kind of roundabout way, but dude, I want everybody to win.
That's cool.
I'm the little guy. That's kind of where I want to stay.
Yeah.
I like the little guy. I like the guy that's trying to get to the top.
I do like that you're one-on-one. I mean, it takes a lot of capacity.
Tons.
I mean, an insane amount.
Tons, dude.
And a lot of intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people will definitely benefit from it. Now, one of your podcasts, I haven't listened to all your podcasts, but there's one episode in particular that I absolutely loved. The guy's name's Jay. He's from Canada.
Yeah. Jay Nickel.
What's the name of his little brand?
Mindful Hunter.
Mindful Hunter, Mindful Reviews. Dude, I don't even know this dude. I've never even met him. But I've seen his stuff here or there. Could tell he was Canadian. I love the Canadian accent.
They all sound the same.
And I love it.
Yep.
And he seemed like a really nice guy. He seemed like an intellectual. Because I consumed a little bit of his content. And
he does like unbiased reviews.
He might have DM'd me once or twice asking me about something. So I was like, oh, that guy's kind of cool. And then he invited me on his podcast one time. I did it. Done many, right? Like they're a blur. So nothing stood out. But his podcast with you, where he was a guest of your podcast, that stands out to me, where my mind was blown. And I was like, this is such a good episode. Like he kept it so real. I don't want to spoil it. So if you're going to check out my boy's pod, what number one? Do you remember the episode?
I don't even.
Find the one with Jay, the Mindful Hunter dude, and prepare to be shocked at what he shares. And I loved his transparency, and his stock in my mind could not be any higher. When you just are vulnerable and share that your struggles, I would have never guessed that he had been through all that.
Dude, me neither. And he's into the industry, right? He does like gear reviews, and he's big in hunting.
Okay.
I don't think we talked hunting for 10 seconds.
I don't recall a single.
Not one.
It didn't matter to me. It
Not
was
one.
like a real.
I knew a little bit about his background.
Yeah.
But that's where my show's, I think, different. Just like my training.
Yeah.
It's not just what you think.
That's cool.
Like my training, it's not just eating ribeye steaks and seeing how much we can bench press.
Although I'm into that, the ribeye steak part.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a part of it, but it's not everything.
Yeah.
A lot of my training is between the ears.
Yeah.
Mindset, lifestyle. Like, I don't want to coach you for more than a year, dude. If I'm coaching you for more than a year, I'm not doing my job.
So you want them to graduate?
I want them to graduate, and then I want them to help everybody in their circle. But, when they ask you, dude, how'd you get so fit? How do you think like this now? Tell them me. That's all I ask.
That's cool.
That's all I ask.
They will. If you get anyone results, they're going to sing your praises. Referrals were never hard to get in the fitness industry. People were your best marketing plan. Like, do a really good job. They would keep you in business. That's understandable. Well, I guess let's get into the stuff that I like talking about, which is elk hunting, man. So was this your third year elk hunting?
Oh, I think second. No, third. Was it third, Brady? Yeah, third.
Yeah,
third?
Dan knows. Okay. Dan knows. All right, so let's go through your learning curve. Year 1 to year 3, break it down, however much detail you want. I'm here for it.
Oh,
elk hunting is hard, and you've chosen to do it with a bow.
Yeah, I mean a little bit. I've never even killed one with a bow, Dan.
Not yet.
No, not yet. I've killed one with a rifle. That was a Kobe and I hunt. We doubled down, but
that was last year, right?
Yep, that was last year towards the end of the year.
Yep.
But I was always under when I moved out here, dude, I thought that it really mattered like how much ground you cover, and like whoever puts the most miles in wins and kills the elk.
Oh.
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't. Like, I remember the first time I ever went out solo with a bow. Dude, I put on a half marathon before noon, and I was like, oh yeah, we're killing one today. It's like, all right, yeah, dude, sick. You're 8 miles from the truck. What happens if I would have killed one?
Well, you might have lost meat, quite honestly, depending on how 100%. Hot it was.
100%. It was warm. I'm in a t-shirt. So I realized that you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm capable of doing that, which is fantastic, but you don't need to do that. First year had quite a few encounters, but really? Rookie mistakes.
I need to know the mistakes. That's what I want people to like, because either they're going to hear this and they're going to be like, okay, I'm not making that mistake.
You will.
But then they'll make it and they'll be like, that's what he was talking about. And then it will click, and then hopefully you click save, never do that again.
Yeah. So I could have killed a really nice bull, probably 300, 310, at 5 yards if I had known what we were doing. So I had Kobe out. He was filming. We hunted for like 13 days. Won't say where, but you guys can probably figure it out if you listen to my stuff. And we knew where these elk were traveling in the mornings. And we're like, hey, we're gonna make a play. We're gonna have a setup. Kobe, you stand back and call. I'll advance. We'll call one right in. Kobe ends up calling this bull in from like 500 yards. But with your typical elk setup, you kind of want to be in line with your caller.
Yeah.
And tell me if I'm wrong.
I mean, that makes sense.
For the most part.
Yeah. Is it open country?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm bladed off roughly 105, 110 yards off to the right.
Okay.
And when this bull comes over the ridge, range 98. I'm not taking that shot, dude. I'm not taking that shot. 60.
But when he peeked out, should he have been able to see what he was hearing?
No.
So it wasn't the hang-up spot.
Wasn't the hang-up spot. Wasn't the hang-up spot. Kobe ended up calling this bull into a couple feet and almost stepped on him. And I had multiple kind of little areas between that bull at 100 yards and where Kobe was to be kind of set up to shoot him as he was coming in. And the closest he got was 97, and he almost stepped on Kobe. But I was just bladed too far off.
Way too far, yeah.
I was bladed too far off. And with these setups, I've always, now after I've done research and listened to your stuff and everybody else, you kind of need to be in line with your caller because they're going to pinpoint that tree.
Yeah, and it's really visual based.
It is.
It's crazy. The wind arcing thing, I think, got preached really hard early on. And that may be so, like in really thick country where an elk just can't get a visual. But the elk want visual perspicuity. They want confirmation. And then when they don't get that, a lot of times they'll bounce. But if they're really determined, then they might start to wind arc. And then that's where the being bladed out works. So you basically were probably set up pretty good if you guys had a 2-shooter setup.
Yeah.
You were in one of the spots. But I mean, you don't know what you don't know. I don't like calling elk, like straight up. I know
you don't.
I just don't.
All my buddies that are super solid like yourself, they don't even bring calls.
Man, you're just putting an animal to full alert of something. And then it's going to happen even faster. And if you have there's a time and a place. You should definitely know how to do it. But like, there's not a lot of country in Montana where I'm calling. And I've hunted quite a bit of Montana, minus Western Montana.
Yeah.
Minus where Brady lives, like all that Western Montana. You're going to have to probably do vocalizations. You probably don't even need binoculars. But you can't be mad at yourself, man. You guys, Colby, it worked. We're off a little.
Dude, I learned so much in those 12, 13 days.
Did he shoot the bull?
No, he had a camera.
But that footage is dope.
He's got us. It's real dope. Yeah, it's real dope. And yeah, I just fell over after that, dude. I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if it gets any better than that. How like,
I don't know if it does.
And then you're searching for that opportunity the rest of the time. And a couple other instances, right, with the hang up spots, wasn't in tune with that, dude.
Yeah.
I'm from Michigan, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Did you ever try like putting the calls away and trying to ambush or like?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that I like hunting like that anyways.
Yeah.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Like I've purposely taught myself not how to bugle. I don't even know how. I don't really even. Yeah. I just rip the cow calls. If I'm gonna play that way.
Calf calls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm gonna play that way, but guys like you, guys like Dylan Ness, guys like Brian Barney, really successful Western bow hunters, for the most part, they don't call at all. They don't call it. I know you dabble a little bit, but those guys, they don't even own calls.
Yeah, I own calls. I know that you can, it does work.
Right.
But I mean, few and far between. The more and more I've been hunting is just like less calling.
Yeah.
And I think you'll get better shot selection, shot opportunities, meaning I'd rather shoot a bull that does not know, is not on alert at all. The only thing he's worried about is cows or something. It's fun to shoot elk when they're feeding, bulls when they're feeding or raking or wallowing or just preoccupado with the ladies. That could work. So year one, God, it's tough to top that. That's a really good encounter, man. Yeah. How many days? You went 13 days with Colby?
Yeah, and I think I ended up going, close to, I had all the vacation back in the 9 to 5 kind of dialed in for September, right? Yeah. I had my ducks pretty well in a row for that. I ended up going like 21 days out of however many days are in September and had some great opportunities like that. And then second year, dude, I went against your golden rule, which is something that I really have piggybacked off of, where I didn't necessarily have my home life in check that second year.
Oh, yeah.
So all these things that your boy was putting off, guess when those started to come up?
Yeah,
right about elk season.
Damn.
Yeah, so your boy didn't really get out too much for bow his second year. But, ended up being successful with a rifle kind of buzzer beater type thing, which was cool.
What adjustments did you make at home based on that experience?
Comms.
Oh, yeah, those.
With my wife. Yeah.
So yeah, you're now sharing what's going on in there way out in front.
Have to.
And it kind of sucks, but you just rip the Band-Aid off and it gives yourself some time to healing. My wife last night, no joke, man, I was tired. Like I had a really productive day here. I got here at 5:30 a.m. I clocked out at 5:30 p.m. I had no interruptions, 0. I think I edited like 3 podcasts, 3 YouTube videos. That's
going.
That's insane. Plus I worked out. Plus I went and filmed some other stuff for ELKSHAPE training. Did all that stuff. I get home. I'm smoked. Dude, I'm like, what's up, kids? How y'all doing? Happy New Year. What you do today? That's cool. Wife cooked a bomb dinner. You'll see my leftovers, dude. We're talking yams and elk steak and like backstrap. We're talking crushed dinner. And she's like, I'm going to go in the office. And I was like, all right, cool. I might just kick with the kids. I'm kicking with the kids. And I hear like, hey, can you come in here, man? She's got the calendar out. She switched it on me, dude. Full interrogation. When are you doing tack? Which tacks are you doing? When is your bear hunt? When are you going scouting for this? Are you antelope hunting this year? Like, and I had no answers, man. I'm like, babe, I don't know any of this right now, man. Like, I seriously don't know. I know we got the elk immersion. I think it's the 3rd week in May for that bear hunt. Tack, I'm doing Red Lodge. I'm doing Utah. I think it's like, I'm guessing on dates. I don't have them. And dude, she's like straight up interrogating me. Like, I want to go to Redfish Lake. I want to go to Banff. Like, she's doing like all this planning. And I'm like, Dan, this is like, just say it. And so I'm like, babe, I would love to do all those. You just put them on the calendar and I'll plan around them.
And that's the biggest thing. Write it down. Just book it.
Book it. And so now that stress is off, man, like I don't need to intentionally, like, I'm just going to make sure that I'm caught up on work and I go do these trips and I'm a dad. And I just want to make sure these kids have good memories. Yeah. Man, you guys listening, he's preaching it. Like, get it figured out. Your wife, 99% of you, she doesn't care about elk hunting at all. But she will if you find out what her version of elk hunting is and literally win an Oscar for acting interested, even if you're the least amount of interested. Fake it till you make it. Get interested in whatever that is. So important. The other thing about the communication piece is rip the Band-Aid off. When you draw a tag, you go and write it on the calendar and you inform them that this is what you're wanting to do and prepare for some backlash. Every year I still write, like, this is my job to go probably elk hunting. Not really, but that's what I tell her. And it's just you really, like, I literally got in a fight with Alicia on September 30th. I'd been gone for a little legit month and I had come home to deal with meat and I had a Montana Breaks elk tag and I did not want to hunt it during rifle season. I wanted to go right now while the weather's good, while the bulls are bugling. And she's like, you just killed 3 elk. You don't need to kill another one. You need to eat that tag. And I just was like, who told you this? That is against my religion. I have 6 bonus points burned for this tag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, are you? Then maybe we won't be married. Like, it was the biggest fight we've probably had in a while. But I didn't go right away. I stayed back, worked it out, kind of figured out what was up and what I needed to fix. So I guess what I'm trying to say, Tyler, is that I don't have it all figured out. Just because I give out some decent advice,
me neither, dude.
doesn't mean that I have this thing all sorted. Hunting, it takes a toll on the family. Especially as you get kids coming, man. Boy or girl?
Yeah, I know, but it's tight to the chest.
Copy?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pretty excited?
Stoked.
Gonna be the life that's gonna change everything?
That's what they're saying, yeah.
It is. And it makes everything elevated. I mean, all the cliches are true. Like, you literally never have more admiration for your wife until she gives birth. And then you're gonna be like, my wife is a superhuman hero.
Yeah.
And then there's just going to be this little human that you will love more than anything you've ever loved in your entire life. You might shed a tear, you might not, but you're going to feel something that you never felt before, and you will never be the same. It's pretty cool, man. I'm excited for you. How old are you?
31.
That's about when we had our first kid. Like, I like the way you do it. Like,
yeah, I like the way that we did it too.
Like, we had some shit figured out by the time you're 31.
Yeah.
Not only financially, but just like priorities.
Yeah. And then we got to and
you got to play with and like be a married power couple for a couple years without kids.
And that's what we did on purpose, right?
You guys did good.
Yeah.
I highly advise that because I think 31 is the new 21. Like, dude,
I didn't know nothing at 21.
Your son or daughter is going to graduate high school when you're just about 50 years old. Dude, Tyler at 50 is going to be like most guys were at age 40. Like,
that's one of the reasons I do what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be the guy that's like, the 30-year-old asks the 50-year-old, how old are you? The guy says 50. Dude, you look like you're 38. That's the guy that I want to be.
Yeah.
But that shit doesn't start when you're 45.
That's the problem. You got to get on that now, guys. No, that's cool. How excited is your wife?
Stoked.
Any pregnancy issues? Any like just hardship? Any like hormones that just
oh yeah,
all that good stuff?
Yeah. First trimester, that's I think the name of the game for most women.
Yeah.
My wife's edgy just like me.
Cool.
So you get those hormones really firing. It was fun there for a little while. But I already knew what was coming, at least especially in that retrospect. I was very in tune with that. So
what about supporting cast, grandparents, stuff like that? What's that?
We have
like?
Zero family here.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Zero. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to take trips to get everybody.
Yeah. We're that's one of the things that we're.
It'd be nice if they could come to you.
Of course.
In the beginning, especially.
Of course. Yeah, that's one of the things we're kind of working through. Like, how do we want to structure everything? And because we don't want our kid. I've blown it a couple times now, referring to our baby as he or her. So I'm trying to catch myself, and if I slip, we'll just cut.
Yeah.
But we don't want them to grow up without their grandparents.
No doubt.
My grandparents were a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
Same with Morgan. So
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We always do, man.
Extended family, brothers, sisters. You guys got anybody in Montana?
Zero. Nothing, dude.
Dang.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nope.
How about friends that you guys cultivated friendships through all your networking? You guys got some good friends and support systems?
We have some really good friends. And I've been on record a million times on my shows. My circle, dude, it's like super tight.
Pequeño.
I'm very, very particular with who I'm hanging out with.
I get it.
The time that I spend with people, the time that I give to folks. So the people that are hanging around me are all really, really solid. Same with my wife.
Yeah. How long a drive is it to get here from Billings?
You're about 7 hours, 8 hours.
It wasn't that bad.
Nah, dude.
How were the passes?
You were straight.
Really?
Yeah, we were good.
When did you guys get into Washington?
Well, we're right on the border here, so
yeah.
we're technically in Post Falls where we're staying, but it's
perfect.
Like 17 minutes from our Airbnb.
So you got an Airbnb?
Yeah.
Did you handle it like you met with Adam while you were here?
Yeah, we got lunch after y'all did the pod.
Okay.
Yep.
So he went and met with you. He's a client. What else did you do while you were in town?
Shoot, we just grabbed some food, and then we were going to watch the Georgia game, but that crazy incident happened, which was terrible.
Yeah. And that got rescheduled for today?
Right now.
It's going right now?
Right now, dog. Right now.
What's the skit?
What you got?
We might need to watch that today, man.
You got a TV in the gym?
We got one here.
Boom.
Yeah, that is some crazy stuff. I think there's gonna be more crap like that happening. this year in 2025 more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stay vigilant.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man, is you just got to be prepared as much as you can. Like people like there's a lot of preppers out there, and I'm not necessarily the guy, but you do need to kind of have your ducks in a row, so to speak. Like if your state allows you to carry a firearm, you should. You got to protect your family.
I'd love to see a good guy with a gun.
You got to protect your family. Yeah. And there's a lot of people in this country, Dan, and we're not going to get all political on this.
Let's get political. I'm joking.
There's a lot of people here that aren't supposed to be here that want to hurt Americans.
Mm.
And you're seeing that, and you saw that yesterday.
Sucks, man.
Yeah, it does.
It's heavy. We'll see how this year goes. I'm pretty pumped about living in Idaho. I've wanted to move to Idaho for 15 years.
You're from Idaho, aren't you?
No, man, everyone thinks that. So, not from Idaho, never been. I lived in Washington all my life. But before I met my wife, I think I was about 22 or 23. Yeah, I was 23 yeah. And my dad and I bought a house together in Idaho.
Okay.
And it was a very legit, like, we called it a hunting cabin.
Is that y'all's cabin then?
Okay. House.
Yeah.
And it was sick. And we bought it just to elk hunt and bear hunt out of, and that's all I did. And I was pre-marriage, so like we just made that thing awesome and lived there forever. Now, I think a lot of people thought I was from Idaho because I had a house in Idaho, but I never claimed or declared residency of Idaho. Never. Mm-hmm. So just this year, we moved. We sold our house. We were actually going to build a house here at this 5 acres. But after we did this whole studio, gym, and we're getting ready to do the infrastructure, I was like, hey, we're kind of like, don't have enough money to pay in cash. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to be in debt. So let's pump the brakes. We'll build in a few years. Like as in, let's get our kids raised in Idaho. And so we started looking in Idaho, found a house, made an offer, got it, perfect, locked it in, and been living since. And honestly, like I said in the beginning, it's better for me to be away from here and not have a computer and not have access to all this stuff. And so that I can shut it down and have a little more balance, which is something I struggle. I'm not a very balanced person, admittedly, for good and for bad.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You've been doing ELKSHAPE how long?
2013. I did it full time in 2019. Quit everything and did it full time 2019.
Okay. What was that turning point like? When were you like, hey, I can do this freaking full time, all in?
Yeah.
Was there a moment in time where you're like, hey, boom.
Yeah.
We're really going with this now.
Yeah. It was, like I said, I made a deal with my wife.
Yeah. That
I would go back to firefighting or I'd be a personal trainer.
Yep.
Like a private personal trainer, one-on-one training like you're doing, but in real life, not online. That was my backup plan.
Yep.
But for right now, let me just try ELKSHAPE, whatever that means for the next 2 years. And I need you to work full-time as a nurse and help support your husband. She's like, agreed. Within a year, not 2, but a year, we were having a conversation with Alicia. I need you to quit being a nurse. Every time you go to the hospital and I am in charge of the kids, I am not getting my work done. And my work now is more lucrative than your work. And she's a nurse.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't think I should quit. This is a good job. And then she's like my wife's like the best of humanity. She's like by nature, happy-go-lucky. She's the girl that you want to work with. Like she's just always in a good mood. She's not moody. She's jacked and tanned. Very hardworking woman. Been on the 8th floor, a neuro floor. So they do just back surgeries. Great freaking nurse. 8 years. It's the highest turnover floor for nurses. It's just a shitty job. She gets written up one day because she didn't do some sort of like continuing education thing or something. I don't remember the details. And she called me from work and she's like, I can't believe they're writing me up. I've never had a write up in my life. And I was like, you should quit today. And she's like, hold my beer. Went and talked to her boss, said, hey, I can't believe you're writing me up. I've never done, I'm out. Today's my last day or 2 weeks notice. And so she was done. So that was the turning point. Now, as far as how did I get to that? Like one, I have never borrowed money. I've always been a saver. And when I met my wife, we're talking college debt. We're talking credit cards, car payment, no cash. And when we first got married, we had separate checking accounts and I'd see her open up the mail all the time and it was like overdraft, overdraft. I'm like, dude, what the are you doing? Like, how do you pay? How do you get an overdraft? Don't you like check your phone and see what's in your account? I was a total jerk about it. Anyways, long story longer, we started doing that Dave Ramsey stuff. And I'm not like a giant Dave Ramsey guy. So for
Dave's good people. My wife used to work for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to get into that. So I'm like Dave Ramsey principles. We get down, we get the comms going, we get one checking account. And I'm not making a lot of money. She's not making a lot of money. I'm a gym owner, and I deferred no salary my first year owning a gym.
Mm-hmm.
I made this much my first year. Okay. I spent money on that place. She's in nursing school. We're poor, man. We're living in my house that I bought before I met her. And we're doing this Dave Ramsey thing. And so like we started like saving with envelopes full of cash and a little cheap safe at our house. And we had things like tires.
Expensive, dude.
Like we didn't need tires, but we were going to need them eventually. Mm-hmm. So we put like $15 a month in the tire envelope.
Mm-hmm.
Utilities, like everything,
vehicle
clothes,
insurance, all of it,
this
dude.
Stuff we started doing envelopes for, and a bunch of it was stuff that like we didn't. But man, we did that, and we started tackling the smallest debts first, which was one of her credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
It took us a long time, but we got that one paid off, and then all of a sudden we're taking the money that we're spending on that, and we could put it towards the next credit card. And it like that snowball effect was real life for us. We knocked out the next credit card, we knocked out her car payment, and then we knocked out her school loans. And then we knocked out this, we knocked out that. And I was 40 years old with 2 kids. This was about a year ago. I had 0 debt.
Mm-hmm.
I had 16 months worth of savings. So like we could live off our savings with no changes for 16 months. Probably too much cash in the bank, according to people that are smart, but not to me. So we had 16 months worth of saving. We had our house paid off. We were completely out of debt. So that's why how I was able to do some of this stuff is we've never taken car loans since then. We've always saved up, wrote checks, paid cash. And so I really believe that debt is slavery. It's the opposite of freedom. And so we've always just been on the same page financially to the point now where I'll be honest, man, I don't know what I make a year. I don't know what's in my checking account. All I focus on when I get up is how can I make the best content today?
In the same way.
My wife is the accountant.
Yep.
She will tell me if I'm doing something wrong.
Yep.
But I know this is a big black box. If I bust my ass, do cool content, I know it comes out the other side. Like we're doing okay. I don't worry about anything else.
No, you're spot on. I said the same thing on IG the other day.
Okay.
It's like, they're like, hey, what are your 2025 goals? It's like, it doesn't really matter what my goals are. Like I have them. But as long as I just keep pouring into other people, I'll tell you one thing, I'm doing better financially than I've ever done in my life. I don't know how much. I kind of do, but like, I don't really care. Because as long as I just keep pouring into the guys that trust me, the more I pour into my wife, the more I pour into my circle, all that stuff comes back around for me.
It does.
And that's just like, that's what's worked for me.
So your wife was in Nashville working for Dave Ramsey at one point?
Yeah.
Because his big institute's down there?
They're in Franklin.
Okay, what was that like?
Yeah. It was interesting. It was really.
What did she do for them?
Conversion rate optimization.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Conversion rate optimization.
Yep. CRO.
I'm sure it's some sort of how do we get these leads to convert to no longer leads?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people have to Google it. Me too, sometimes still. But yeah, that's what she did for him.
They get X amount of leads and how they convert them to customers, putting them in their CRM or something. I don't know.
It's something like that.
So she's a data analysis?
She's super smart.
Okay.
Yeah, she's super smart. So we followed some of his stuff.
Okay. What did you find helpful? What did you not find helpful?
Debt, dude. Like you got to get rid of that as soon as possible.
Was it hard?
Not really. No, not really. My wife paid her vehicle off before I paid mine off. And I'd had mine 2-3 years prior to her.
Why did you have a vehicle loan to begin with?
Me?
Yeah.
Shoot. I mean, I traded a truck in and I needed a new truck. I didn't have a choice. Shoot, I was making police money, dude. I didn't have the money to just pay for the dang thing.
I know. Did you ever think about driving something just not as good?
No.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
What other dumb stuff have you done financially that we could save people a lot of hardship?
Oh man. I'm actually really, really good with my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't made like a ton of financial mistakes. We have like real estate that we own and do the Airbnb thing, the rental thing.
How long have you been doing that?
A couple of years, 2-3 years.
Was there any headaches along the way?
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
So you got to find sailing now.
You got to find good tenants. That's a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
You
got a long-term Airbnb.
The Airbnb can be as long as you want it to be. Yeah, you can stay a night. You can stay 3 weeks if you want.
Oh, cool.
But the rentals that we have are long-term, like year-long leases.
And you got good tenants in there?
We've had good ones. We've had not so great ones.
Yeah.
But you got to vet people, man. And I'm like huge on that. Same thing with my company. It's like I used to get paid for a living to vet people.
Yeah.
So I'm a pretty good judge of character. So that helps. But I take a lot of advice, dude. Like all the stuff you just said, kind of like you went through your scheme with your wife and, you know, putting money here, no debt. If this all sounds like unfamiliar to you guys or you don't know, hire an advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Like hire somebody that is keen on this stuff.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you don't know until you know. And we've touched on that.
I definitely still don't know very much.
I mean, me neither, dude. Like I'm figuring it out just like the next guy.
But I like what you said. Just like we're both kind of on the same page. Like we could worry about a lot of these details,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a simpleton. I just know what I need to do every day, day in and day out. Like, I got
you do your part. This thing's going to work
in these areas and good stuff happens.
Yep. You do your part. This thing's going to go.
Yeah.
Point blank period. And that's where I'm at with it too. But when it does come to financials, I'm pretty in tune with it. But like business advice, like Adam, he helps me out so much. Adam and Tana.
Really?
Yeah, they help me out so much. Like
as
I owe
far
that
as business consulting.
Yeah, I owe them everything, dude.
What?
They help me so much for nothing.
That's cool.
Like for nothing, and I can't ever repay those two. Like they're awesome because Tana does what I do, just kind of at a higher scale, more women based. She does do men and stuff, but she doesn't have to put me on game. Not one single bit, but she does.
Oh, that's cool.
Because she's good people and she realizes what we're talking about, that if she does good by others, that shit comes right back around to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it is. And I get business advice from my dad. He's been a business owner for 30 plus years.
What business does he own?
He owns a charter bus company.
Oh, yeah?
In Ann Arbor, where I'm from.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, you know, like the big 55 passenger ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been doing that since 89.
So are you a Michigan fan?
I'm a Georgia fan. That's kind of why we brought that up.
Really?
My sports fans are really, my sports teams are really random.
Okay, let's hear them.
Yeah. Well, Baltimore Ravens, like diehard.
Okay.
Like here.
What?
Those are Super Bowl wins, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are they doing this year? Are they they're in the playoff picture?
Yeah. Yep. They win Sunday, they win the division.
I've seen them play a few games this year, and they've lost some games where I'm just like,
they shouldn't lose.
I'm like,
yep.
I feel like they have the best quarterback in the league, the best athlete.
Yep.
Who could literally do all of it.
Yep.
And could run like, I think he could give Mahomes a run for his money as far as just being a better quarterback, more athletic, like way more athletic.
One of the best athletes you've ever seen.
Does he not have like obviously the head coach is legit. Obviously, like
Dan, he's got everything that he needs. Everything. Okay. They just got to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Who do they play this weekend?
The Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat the Browns. They win the division.
Okay.
Yep.
And then they'll set out the first round?
No. Casey has the bye.
Casey has the bye.
Yeah.
So who would they play? Like the lowest wild card?
Probably like Houston, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter though. They're one of the teams where it's just like, just play your game. Mm-hmm. Give the ball to Derrick Henry. Don't put all the pressure on Lamar.
This is last year?
Derrick?
Yeah.
We signed him for 2, so he's got next year too.
And he's up there. He broke some record this year, so he's now the something.
He's top 10 in touchdowns, I think, all time.
Yeah, he moved up.
He set a couple records, yeah.
Yeah, I've watched him play when he was a Titan.
Yeah.
Went to a game, watched him play.
Same.
Okay, college is Georgia.
Yeah. I think it was a thing when I was really, really young. I loved the logo.
Yeah.
The last name's Geiger.
Okay.
The G.
Yeah.
I've been to Athens 4 or 5 times. My dad took me down there.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the 2 football teams.
MLB?
Anaheim Angels.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm all over the map, dude. Favorite player growing up was Vladimir Guerrero.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been to Anaheim a bunch, and
he had a long career.
Great career. I love his son, too. His son's a stud.
Yeah.
Junior.
Any other sports that you follow?
Hockey, Nashville. I used to live in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of like my only home team.
No thing. NBA?
Wherever Russell Westbrook is playing.
Okay.
So right now it's the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Russ guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he slowing down yet, or is he?
I don't really think so.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He just had a triple-double the other night.
Of course he did.
Yeah. He's a stud.
Man, that is nuts.
I'm all over the map.
Yeah,
the Ravens thing, 2000, I was 7. first game I can really remember watching with them. Yeah. Man. They won the Super Bowl. These guys are the best. Die hard for 24 years.
24 years.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Have you been to a Ravens game?
Yeah, only one.
Who'd they play?
The Lions, actually.
And
we clapped them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it in Detroit?
No, it was. Well, I've only been to M&T once.
Oh, okay.
But I've been to quite a few games.
I've been to a Lions game up in Michigan.
Yeah, they're sick, dude.
Ford Field.
Yeah.
Shout out.
It's going now. They're good.
So we got the rest of the day, guys. We're probably going to go make a video for YouTube for the ELKSHAPE channel. So
cool.
Do you want to go shoot bows?
Yeah, I got 6 arrows. I think that'll be enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be enough.
That'll work. Cool. How's the weather out there, Brady? You were just out there. Was it? It's not snowing or anything. I guess it doesn't matter.
We'll be good.
And then, did you want to work out today?
I would love to work out. If not, I'm gonna have to go to a public gym today.
Okay, we'll work out today. Cool. What do you want to work? What are you gonna do? Let's pretend. You walked in there and it's all you. What are we doing?
How's the knee? First off, how you doing?
No, it's not good. I got surgery on January 22nd.
It's not good.
I squatted.
What can you do? I guess is the question.
I just kind of find out, and then if it's a bad idea, I just don't do it.
Do you want to do like an AMRAP, or do you want to just bro it out?
I don't care.
Okay.
I really don't care. Like, I just want to win the day.
Yeah. No, we're going to win. We've already won it.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep going. But yeah, just don't make me snatch or nothing like that. I'm working a shoulder thing.
Won't snatch. That's cool with me.
I wouldn't mind going a little bit here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have no idea what kind of training you'd like to do, but
I'm all over
I would love to try whatever you want to do. Okay. So we'll do some fitness. We'll shoot some bows. Check out his podcast, Nock Performance. We'll leave a link to his website. And then if you want one-on-one training, it's pretty obvious. Maybe do a phone consult and see if you are each other a right fit. It's 2025. Why not make it the best year yet? Separations in the preparation. Tyler, parting words?
It's an honor, man. I appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to the rest of the day. And like I said, man, I'm a student. So I've looked at your stuff for a long time and respect what you do.
Appreciate that.
It's a good time, so I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. All right, guys, head over to the other channel and find this video where we go shoot bows and work out, and we'll be rooting for Tyler to get his first bull with a bow in 2025.